Right, this is my favorite. When we were divvying up who was talking about what, it very much wanted to do the video modeling.
So, I didn't argue.
Video modeling is something that I have found to be, when you're a teacher and you're in the trenches, and we were like just talking about paperwork that we have to do before the end of the school year, sorry to bring it up. It's very important to have, if I'm going to spend time doing something, I want it to be a good bang for my buck, right? Like, I don't want to do something that's not going to be really helpful for my students. And I will tell you that video modeling has been one of the best things that I have put into my classroom. And some of it I use very much how it's described in this definition. And some of it is a little bit of a deviation from that, but still very effective. So video modeling is anytime you use a video to teach a targeted skill or behavior, okay? So like when my dryer broke and I was a little too cheap to go buy a new dryer, because they have to match, clearly.
Right.
And I went on YouTube and I pulled up a video about my particular dryer and how to fix it. And my husband and I watched it and fixed my dryer.
There you go.
We use video modeling all the time. My husband likes to call it YouTube University. But we can use this to help our students. So some of this are those role plays that Megan talked about, where you're actually recording them and using them. Some of them, like we used one, I think we have a clip of it, although we may or may not get to it. One of the ways to do this also is to video a student actually doing a skill that they need to do. And a lot of this is crossover, right? Because you could video a student following a task analysis.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways that you can do this, but one of the things that I think is really, really helpful is finding clips of desired behaviors. Now the students think that the not desired behaviors are hilarious.
Yes.
So I sometimes use those to catch buy-in, but those are not backed as an evidence-based practice. You don't want to show the
you always show the positive after.
Exactly.
So they're leading with that.
Exactly. So if you want to pull them in with a Seinfeld clip about somebody being a close talker, that's great. But make sure you follow it up within the appropriate way, and or role play it and videotape it. So you were talking about prom.
Yep.
One of my favorite lessons we just did recently was right before prom, and I use a clip from the movie Hitch, which now I have both these movies in my classrooms. I don't use a whole movie, but I use clips typically. And so I use a whole movie if I'm reinforcing things from the whole year, which we'll talk about. But for this particular lesson, there is a scene where Will Smith's character is teaching Tom Arnold's character how to dance. And he's teaching him, he's like a social coach, and he's teaching him how to dance appropriately. And so Tom Arnold's movements are really big and sporadic. And so like that wasn't working if he wanted to blend in. And so Will Smith comes in and he says, arms at 90 degrees, keep it at home. And so we use that clip and then we practice in my classroom fast dancing. And this year they were cracking me up because they wanted to do all of the line dances. So we did the Cupid Shuffle, and we did, what's the other one?
Electric Slide?
Yeah, it wasn't that one. It was a different one. Anyway, so it was so cool, you guys, because last year we didn't get a prom because of COVID. So this year we got one, but it was on our football field. And they had a dance floor with like lights set up, and the Cupid Shuffle came on. And do you know every single one of my students was on that dance floor?
Oh, that's fun.
It just was so cool. Yeah. I just absolutely loved it. It was like coaches next to targeted students, and they were just living it up. But that clip is great because it shows what makes someone stand out on a dance floor, not in a good way. Their movements are too big, and a little sporadic, and or they don't look confident. So those are the things that we look at. And again, I tell them, I'm not trying to make you Beaver Creek High School's best dancer. There's no word for that. But what I am trying to do is help you have that opportunity to dance and feel comfortable that you would blend in if you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
And feel like you're a part of the group.
Exactly right.